Oh, I know. Again, we're all getting.
I know. Okay. I'm ready. Take a deep breath. We all ready?
Namaste.
You ready? Okay. Good evening, colleagues and audience members. My name is Ed Reisinger. I am the chairman of the Land Use and Transportation Committee for the City Council. We are here this evening to conduct our second voting session on text amendments to City Council Bill 12-0152, Transform Baltimore Zoning. We are joined by my colleagues. To my far left in the center, in the red, is Councilwoman Eric Costello.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
To his right is Councilwoman Ricky Spector. Across from Councilwoman Spector is Councilman Warren Branch. To his left is Councilman Henry. Directly across from Councilman Henry is Councilwoman Sharon Green Middleton. Second to my left is Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark. To my immediate left is Councilman Jim Kraft, who is the vice chair of the committee. We're also joined by Nick Blendy, who is here. Angela Gibson, who is here representing Mayor Stephanie Rollins-Blake. Kara Kuntz, to my second to my right is Kara Kuntz representing President Bernard Jack Young.
Thank you.
Also Paul Plymouth, who is here representing the President Bernard Jack Young. In the center is Mr. John Willis, who is the staff person for the committee. To my immediate right is the staff person to the committee is Jennifer Coates.
Thank you.
One and only ground rule is please turn off your cell phones, Android smartphones, to give respect and courtesy to those who are going to testify.
No one's testifying.
Not to testify, I'm sorry, give courtesy and respect for the committee on the voting session. I just want to state that both the PDF file and the Excel file are being made available on the City Council's website. Draft amendments can be downloaded from the Bill 12-0152's file page by inputting the following link into your web browser, https://baltimore.legistar.com. I encourage everyone to visit the City Council website to stay updated about the bill. A copy of the draft amendments has also been placed in the bill folder located in the Executive Secretary's office here at City Hall. Her name is Natwana Austin. We will vote on as much as we can during today's session in 2 hours. The committee intends to work progressively through the draft amendments page by page. Public testimony will not be allowed during the voting session. City agencies may be questioned about particular amendments being discussed by the committee. If you would like to contact the committee, please mail correspondence to the Office of Council Services. Attention to Jennifer Coates, located at 100 North Holiday Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202, or email jennifer.coates@baltimorecity.gov. I do want to take this time, I and the committee would like to thank Ms. Kara Kuntz and Mr. Paul Plymouth from the office of President Jack Young's office for compiling the amendment packet. I just want to say it was a monumental task, and the committee really appreciates your work. Thank you. At this time,
Correspondence and amendment you could add. Just mention
okay, what about Clark too?
before we get started.
Okay. All right, thanks. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge receipt of some correspondence and proposed amendments. We received them from Councilwoman Clark, Baltimore Development Work Group, Baltimore Gas and Electric, Mr. Douglas Armstrong, Mr. Josh Greenfeld, who's from the Maryland Building Industry Association, Ms. Jennifer Milky, who represents the of Baltimore Universities, and Councilman Henry and Councilman Kraft. Is that it? We're not doing plan. Okay, we ready? Okay, we are ready to start on the voting on the amendments. We will start on, let me backtrack, let me rewind. Anything from the agencies that we asked that needed language, we're gonna defer that because we just got it today and it's gotta be passed around to the committee. So at the next voting session, the committee will have time to review the language to those amendments, and then we'll vote at that time. So,
We have, I'm sorry, Mr.
yes, you make sure you use the mic.
Do we have copies of those agency amendments to,
No.
But we
she's
will.
got- We will, yeah, you will.
before the next?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. By the time the next meeting, you will have the language, and we'll be able to vote on it. There's, on page 3 of this document, those in the audience who have this, and to the committee members, no? Okay, all right. We will be going on, starting on page numbers. We have already voted on some technical amendments and other amendments, so we're not going back. But we're going to start on page 13, line 7. And this is,
And then you can use the header here.
page 13, line 7, and this is Councilman Kraft. This is
Yes.
one of the amendments that was deferred.
Right. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the amendment that I had deferred from last time was to separate the definitions of balcony and deck. Members have the amendment before them. So right now, the amendment is on page, it was handed out. No, it just was handed out on top. There it is, right there.
She has it.
Right there? Okay, okay. All right, now, I see. On page 13, line 7, delete the word deck, and on line 8, delete the phrase or deck. So I would move that amendment at this time.
Have a second? Second by Councilwoman, moved by Councilman Kraft, second by Councilwoman Middleton. Is there any discussion? Then if you want to make them, all those in favor say aye, we just take one vote, or you want to go by roll call?
Whichever, I think we've been doing roll call
Yeah,
on all
roll
the
call,
amendments.
okay. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft votes yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch votes yes. Councilwoman Clark? Yes. Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry?
All we did was split the definitions. We took deck out,
Councilman Henry?
defined deck.
He's not here for the vote? Okay, Councilman Henry is absent. Councilwoman Middleton? Yes. Councilwoman Middleton is yes. Councilwoman Mosby is absent. We have 5 yes with 2 absent. This motion passes.
Yeah, we voted on.
Okay, so here we go. See, we withdrew all these, so we're going to the next page, right?
Yeah, that's on page 21.
What is the number? Just give me the number on the sheet.
Okay,
Page 13, line 20.
But nobody's gonna make a motion on that. Okay, we have on page 13, line 25. That was deferred. Do we have is there a motion on this by anyone?
Just let's get to it.
page 13. Oh, that's T59.
What page? Oh, okay.
Page 13, line 25.
Yes. That's Amendment T59. The discussion had been whether we should change the definition of basement to match the definition of basement in the building code. We spent an hour trying to find a definition of basement in the building code, and there isn't one. So I would move to withdraw that amendment at this time.
Moved by Councilman Kraft, second by Councilwoman Middleton.
No, that we can just do a voice vote on withdrawals.
All right, thank you. All those in favor on the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It's, the amendment, it's to be not, it wasn't an amendment, it's withdrawal. Okay, that's this one. Now we are on this one here. Note that. Yeah. We are now on page 13, lines 14 through 19. This is Councilwoman Clark. That's text 65. That's yours, Councilwoman?
I'm sorry,
T65.
No, it's 68.
That was approved.
You just-
That was approved.
No, it ain't page, it ain't 65?
That was approved.
This one, that's what it says right here, T65. Oh, yeah, we did vote on that one. yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, committee. We already voted on that.
Right, so it's 14.
So that we deferred on that. Okay. So now on here, we withdrew, there was no motion.
These 69, 72, 69, 72 were both. They were bed and breakfast. Right.
oh, yeah, I have a,
Okay,
That's what we are.
are we,
so,
All this covers 14, 7, page.
yeah, okay, what's it, T68? We are on page 14, line 6, T68. This is Councilwoman Clark.
No. T68 is mine. Jumping down to T68.
This is what I'm asking.
Are you doing Councilwoman Clark?
I'm doing Councilman Clark.
Councilwoman Clark is mine. You had the bed and breakfast, right?
I'm 269.
Are you ready for the bed and breakfast?
I'm ready for it, but
Okay.
this isn't where I'm ready for it. I've got the definition.
Okay. This is moving.
So this is just, it's just, I gotta go by the
Give him
page.
this. Wait a minute. Okay, that's fine. We were given this list, and that's the most we did from 68, 69, although they don't call them what on the sheet.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we're following the sheet.
See, this is, this was confused her last time by going by all this. If we go by this is basically,
72, 68. You call it 68, but you're 2 are ahead of that. So I think he's gonna recall it as 69 and 72, which is the bed and breakfast.
So that's page 14.
yeah.
Actually, they got put,
So what is,
14,
all you guys do is go page.
Okay, where are we?
We're on page 14, line 6.
okay,
This is Councilwoman,
yeah. Except this
this is your bed and breakfast.
I know, I've got the amendment, I just
Well, go ahead.
have to find where it is. It's in several places on these sheets.
We're doing this one, and then we're gonna do this one next. These are connected.
me looking for it, well, I have it later on. I mean, you deferred it and I went later on. So if you would just proceed and we could come back to this, Mr. Chairman. I have to find,
Okay. Hey, we're good. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, we're just gonna, as we did, we'll just defer it and then we will come back.
and I'll let you know when we find it.
Okay, Stephanie's gonna work with you. What's the next one? It's the
16.
Same thing? It's the same thing, right? Yeah.
They're connected, so they can-
So the next one is,
T68, which is mine.
who that?
T68 is mine, which is next.
Oh, so that's the next page. Right here? Craft?
T68.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next page is, page 14, line 7, Councilman Kraft.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, this is an amendment that is dealing with billboards. We had talked about changing some of the issues around billboards and where they could use. We decided during our discussion that we weren't going to change it in the definition, but we were going to change it when we got into Title 17. So I would move to defer it until we get to Title 17, and then we can address it at that time.
Okay. Councilman Henry seconds. All those in favor to have it deferred, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The amendment will be deferred. Okay, now we're going back to the next one. Is, right here, look, I have on here.
273.
This was all.
This is the one.
What?
The one I'm supposed to have. Like, let me ask you.
Okay, Councilman Henry, we're looking at page 16, line 22. Do you have language, so are you going to move on this, or do you have an amendment?
I do have, sir.
It's T73.
I have language that I believe represents the consensus of previous discussions on the matter. What I do not have is I do not have that language written out separately on a separate piece of paper, but I can do it orally right now in either amendment form or reading it as it will be, as it would read, whatever works best.
Is it passed out? I mean, what do you mean? You want to come back?
You gotta have the wording.
You got to have the wording.
If you need to have it written down, then come back to that. But I can do that right now. You can come back to it in this meeting.
Yeah, sure, yes. So do you move to defer, or we don't have to do anything?
Already done anything.
We don't have to do anything, okay.
Can I get to my bed and breakfast?
Are you ready?
Well, let me tell you what I did. It got
Well,
deferred, if I may.
Where we at?
I'm ready, but it's, okay, we're not going back there. Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
bed and breakfast is now
What's it say?
moved to
Go ahead.
page 14 after line 9. It is T87. It is not what we've already been through. It was deferred there and moved on to today's agenda, and it awaits us getting to page 14, which is, in other words, I can read it to you. I've got it written.
Let's,
Okay.
go ahead.
I would like to move an amendment to the definition of a bed and breakfast, and I will read you what I'm adding to this line. The line also offers lodging in 3 or fewer guest rooms. Can I have one of the microphones, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
One
I'm
or
sorry,
two
right there. Hold
guest
on.
rooms to members of the general public who have primary residences elsewhere. Here's the amendment. Provided that the owner is in residence whenever guests are being lodged. Now, when we get to the tables, there'll be conditional uses, et cetera, limitations for these beds and breakfasts. But in my experience working with constituents, it's absolutely important that the owner of a bed and breakfast be in residence when lodgers are there. It's not a hotel.
So, are you,
I'd like to move that amendment.
okay, moved by Councilwoman Clark. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Councilman Henry. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft, yes. Councilman Branch?
Yes.
Councilman Branch, yes. Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton? Yes. Councilwoman Middleton, yes. Councilwoman Mosby is absent. So we have
Yeah, we can pull it
6
out.
yes with 1 absent, and this amendment passes. This,
And done all the redundancies.
Oh, okay.
So it was always here.
Okay, so we're taking
Okay, now we're
out
back on-
6972.
now we're back on, wait a minute.
Okay, can we?
Sure.
But we did Kraft. We did Kraft.
We can now take out T69, T72, and T71. So Councilwoman Clark can move to
Do it.
69, 72, and 71.
I'd like to move to, where are they? Oh, here we go. To go back and remove, or withdraw,
Paul?
withdraw, T69, T72,
T68. T68, is that right?
no,
T71.
it must be on the next page. And
71.
T71.
Is that, that's a motion?
Yes, it's,
Go ahead.
these are redundancies spread throughout these lists that are the same amendments to bed and breakfast that we just approved.
I don't think we need to vote on a withdrawal by the sponsor.
We have been doing this all the way through.
I'd prefer that we do.
Okay. Second by Councilman Henry. All those in favor of the withdrawal, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. The 3 amendments are withdrawn. Okay, where we at? Now we did yours. Yeah. That's the route we're gonna take. Councilman Kraft, I mean, we did yours, right? The billboard? Okay, so we did Mary Pat's, bed and breakfast. And defer the next one.
We'd be here
is-
the rest of our lives.
What's the next one here?
So now we have T680.
T73, is it? Is it, we're on,
Henry, he was deferring.
okay, so he's got to,
I gave it to the president's staff to check, but I can.
we come back. We'll come back.
But no, I mean, I just wanted somebody else to look at it to make sure that I didn't miss anything.
Okay, all right, you're good.
Yeah, we can proceed with it.
Can you make some copies? Paul's gonna run it off.
I was gonna make copies of it.
Okay. Well, okay, we're gonna move on to, the next one. We'll come back to T73, right, Councilman? We did yes on this, defer. What is it? That was this one right here, ain't this the same
Yeah,
thing?
this one.
That was withdrawn.
It's a separate motion. It needs a separate amendment.
It was still withdrawn.
That was withdrawn,
684.
yeah. And withdraw, no motion.
Yeah, but
It was,
We have to call it.
no, it was,
then it has to be called.
it was
Did we
deferred.
vote?
684 was
Yeah,
withdrawn.
we voted.
We voted on that.
Yeah.
On what?
Oh, the other day?
684.
Oh, it's been for like, okay. all right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
You would explain that to her?
No, it failed the other day.
It didn't
for
get a
lack of
motion.
Right, yeah, okay, right, okay, sorry.
Is that what
I
he's
didn't write it
doing?
down. No, that was it.
But there's a motion on the floor.
No, there wasn't a motion. No, we didn't call it.
Oh, I thought you were moving about the rest. Sorry.
Okay. Now what we're doing, because now we'll want Bill Henry's regards to cohabitants.
Yeah, cohabitants, T-77.
Okay. We are now on, page 17, line 21, Councilman Henry, that's also the, T-77.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it not move that or withdraw whichever is required further action by the committee.
Okay. So,
If there's no motion, it fails for no.
Well, we already deferred it. We're trying to move it. Just do it.
which one?
Just do it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Kraft. All
No,
those in
just-
favor to withdraw, say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
73?
Yes, T-77.
T-77 has been withdrawn, which is page 17, line 21. Where's the next one? Let me see. T-74. This is you, is this you, Jim? Okay. Let's do this and then we'll, okay. We're on page 17, line 25. This is T-74. Councilman Kraft, this is, transportation, the commercial vehicles.
Yes. I would move to, we're on T-74. T-74.
What page and?
Page
we're
17.
using these- What page and line of the text?
Page 17, line 25.
Councilman Kraft.
Amendment T-74.
T-74.
Right, okay. All right, yes. I would move to amend the definition of commercial vehicle, right, which is found beginning at line 26 on page 17 and carries over to the top of page 18, line 1, to reflect the language in a bill number, hold on one second, 120138, which was adopted by the council in May and signed by the mayor in May of this year. The language of the statute as it reads now under the law, the changes on I think the question before was with regard to the signage. And Section 2 says every vehicle except a passenger car that has commercial advertising on the exterior of the vehicle or on equipment attached to the vehicle, every vehicle that has a maximum gross weight of 7,000, every vehicle designed to carry more than 15 passengers. And the definition of passenger car is as defined in Maryland Vehicle Law 11-1441, and I have copies of that for everybody, which was to comply with the, you can pass them over.
I will.
With the language of the statute. Passenger car means a motor vehicle except a multi-purpose passenger vehicle or motorcycle designed for carrying 10 persons or less. But we have actually changed that in our code to mean to extend to
Yes.
15 people.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, and we had a whole debate. I mean, we had a committee hearing on this. We had discussion on this, And as I say, we passed this just in May, so, right? So, Councilwoman,
What's the motion?
the motion was to replace the definition in the bill with the definition that we just passed.
So that still lets, may I ask a question?
Sure.
So basically, in an era of magnetic signs, it still leaves in that a vehicle, except a passenger car, that lacks signage. It might meet the other requirements of being a truck, but if it doesn't have signs, then it's not, and so therefore the parking laws that apply don't apply. So that's really why, in a zoning code, we were interested in removing that condition that, so that a lot of big trucks meet the other conditions, but they remove their signs, they take them on and off. And so if you're lacking one of the conditions, the sign, but you have the rest, you're not a truck, basically, under the transportation law, but I sure hope that you are under the zoning law. I'd like that provision removed. I'd like to move to remove the provision about you have a motion on the floor?
I have a motion.
Okay, I withdraw.
Yep. Okay.
I'm just arguing that we should remove that sign provision if it's what is it, walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, it's a truck. So that basically, we can continue to enforce no truck parking in residentially zoned neighborhoods.
It has nothing to do with trucks.
This
has nothing to do with
Oh.
trucks.
So we have Kraft made a motion. It was seconded by Councilwoman Middleton. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft votes yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch votes yes. Councilwoman Clark? No? No. Okay. Okay, I got you. Councilwoman Clark votes no. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry votes yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Middleton votes yes. Councilman Mosby is absent. So we have 5 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent, and this amendment passes. Text 74. Now we are on.
It is about trucks.
This is the same.
No,
But, yeah,
no, trucks are not, trucks can't
Jim.
do anything but under this.
So it's the same, right? This is the same as yours, right? Yes. So we don't have to do that, right? Okay.
Jewish people say.
We are now on, yeah. We are now on page 18, line 9. This is Councilwoman Clark.
I'm sorry.
Page 18, line 9, and it's text 80, T80. And this is really what?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, we have visited this subject before, and it is the issue of the new category of use in the code called community-managed open space. I have an amendment, and it is in your, I have an amendment that you will find in what was handed out tonight, my sheets, at the very end called Appendix A. So it's the second to the end page. I am proposing that we take what is called community-managed open space, which is permitted according to the draft, in all row house residential neighborhoods from R5 through 10 as a permitted use. I'm dividing it because, as presented, community managed open space includes not just plants and growing vegetables and flowers and harvesting, but also livestock, compost, receipt, farm stands, sheds to store farm stands. In other words, a more intensive agricultural product. So what I'm asking is that we create two categories. Community managed open space, and we have a new word for it called garden.
Community gardens.
And my colleague has suggested that we call it community managed open space gardens and community managed open space farm. So that it's two kinds of community managed open space, one more intense than the other. And so when we get to the tables, the garden would be permitted across all residential zones in the city. At least that would be my proposal. And the farm product would be conditional use by the zoning board. So people would know that this more intensive use is being proposed next door. Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
So let me use an example just so I can try to get this more clearly. So we're looking at page 18, lines 9 to 15, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm amending them
Right.
as indicated.
Okay. Now, I'm flipping over for a second to page 23, starting at lines 3, say 3 to 9, okay? Right, but as an example. Because we have dwelling, caretakers, dwelling, detached, dwelling, multifamily. So my thought, based on the way that you just explained this, is that we would have a category, community managed open space dash garden, and a definition of that. And then we have a next definition, community managed open space farm, and have a definition of that, so that we have two distinct definitions, so that they're in separate sections themselves. So you would have a new, H, and then there would be a new I, or whatever the letting sequence.
I see, you're proposing that they're not subcategories, but
Right.
they take on a life, they graduate, they become use categories on their own right.
Well, these aren't use categories, these are definitions, so that they be definite.
Yeah, but they are use categories. We will have them in the permitted conditional use tables in the back of this.
Right. Yeah,
When
well,
we get there.
right.
But when we
But-
get there, we need names.
yeah, exactly. But that's, because this is a definition section, I was suggesting that. Is that okay?
Absolutely, basically, if I may. All you have to do to make that happen is to, basically, what I've done is define the generic and then gone into subcategories. If you want to make them, you're saying make them each a category, a definition.
A separate
Yeah,
definition.
that's fine with me, and so we'll need to change the enumeration and all, but basically, I think the language works. So with that, accepting that amendment, I move approval.
Moved by Councilwoman Clark. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Kraft. Councilman Reisinger votes Yes. Councilman Kraft? Yes. Councilman Kraft, yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch, yes. Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Middleton, yes. Councilman Mosby is absent, so we have 6 yes with 1 absent, and this is moved. So this is all approved. So, I said moved, yeah. So this is T80, right, Councilwoman, which goes, T80, which goes into the next page. It's all 4 the same, correct?
Yeah, so,
Well, we're good. I mean, we don't.
well, no, let me just go ahead and withdraw all the redundant
Yes,
entries
okay.
about this very same thing. I would like, if I may do them in a group,
Yes,
I would therefore like to withdraw as redundant and T86,
T82.
T82, 285, T85, T81.
Okay, moved by Councilwoman Clark, second by Councilman Kraft. All those in favor of the withdrawal, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Those 4 are withdrawn. Okay, so now we are on.
I have no idea.
T682. Okay, this is page 18, line 25. This was a question which was referred to John Willis. No?
Mr. Chair?
Hold on for a second, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna move it?
I was going We're on T79.
Yes, T79, page 18, line 25.
Yeah,
Zoning piece?
yeah.
Oh, no.
682.
680,
682, just above it.
682, above it, okay, thank you.
Oh, that's not the one.
He's doing his other one.
That's not the one.
Oh, they're related to T79.
That one fails. That one fails for nothing.
These what?
It's just the comprehensive rezoning one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
682
Yeah,
fails.
and that's what I was trying to say.
Top of the new
Okay.
page. Where we begin tonight.
Mr. Chair, are we, are we talking about T79?
Yes,
Okay, because we have language for T79 that's been passed out.
that's the one you,
That we have language, and I would be happy to read what that passage will read after amended,
Wait a minute.
rather than reading the lines and strikes.
Excuse me
If
one
that's okay.
second.
Sure.
Okay.
I think we have to call T682 an amendment that has to fail for
682?
yeah, I think we have to call T682. It has to fail for we just can't ignore it.
Okay.
Because it never gets considered.
It was deferred. You can leave it alone like you've done some others.
Just put that in motion.
It was deferred. Last time.
Okay.
Maybe we're just gonna pass these on muster.
Okay.
Which
number Okay.
you worrying about?
Okay, you looking good?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Councilman Henry?
Thank you. So the amendment that I have to propose in terms of language effectively takes page 18, lines 26 to the end, and page 19 through line 6, and turns them into one aesthetically pleasing run-on sentence.
25.
And it would read as follows. Comprehensive rezoning means an ordinance that approves, authorizes, or amends a prior approval or authorization in the zoning classification of a considerable number of properties based on considerations concerning the common needs of a substantial geographic area and is designed to control and direct the use of land and structures according to present and planned future conditions. Second.
Wait a minute, hold on 1 second.
Well, there's a motion on the
I do.
floor.
I do.
Okay.
We're discussing.
I don't, yeah, I'm not quite sure. This is different from any of the amendments that were proposed. So it's, you have something in writing?
Yeah, you do too. It was passed out at the beginning. It's in your packet. It's in the packet that all members should have at the desk. It looks like this.
It's all the strikes and,
Yes.
okay, all right.
Because essentially what it's just doing is it's striking out the numbers and designators that broke this concept down into multiple sections, and it moves the passage of involving a considerable number of properties from the middle to the front end. But otherwise, it's just striking things.
Okay, so you're taking out the,
And it takes out all of the line 3 through 6 on page 19 where, and I say this with a straight face, it takes out the whole part about the planning department and the planning commission.
right, but it also takes out the thing about initiated by city government or the mayor and city council.
Well, but it's an ordinance. It says at the very beginning that it's an ordinance, so it has to be
Right,
a product of the mayor and city council. And as an ordinance concerning any type of zoning or rezoning, it will be referred to the planning department and the planning commission for review and comment. So we just basically streamlined it down to what it needs to fly.
okay, wait a minute,
However,
I'm still,
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to your issue. There's an amendment, that's not in.
I'm
there
still
is an
asking him,
amendment.
yeah, but I'm still questioning him about what he's amended, about his amendment, okay? All right, so, again, I can't do all this striking and all right now. So, can you read it again?
Sure. So if you start on line 26 of page 18, it would be comprehensive rezoning means an ordinance that, and then we strike the colon, and we strike the one, the designator in line 27. So comprehensive rezoning means an ordinance that approves, authorizes, or amends a prior approval or authorization in the zoning classification of, and then you stop and strike any property and replace it with a considerable number of properties. Then you strike the that is in line 29, you strike the initiated by city government in line 30, and you strike the to in line 31. Yeah, and you pick back up with based on considerations concerning the common needs of a substantial geographic area.
Wait a minute. Based on the, okay.
And
All
then
right,
you
so
strike-
wait, so you're flipping this.
Then you strike the involving a considerable number of properties because you already used it up above.
Okay, wait a minute. So what you're doing is, so zoning classification of a considerable number of properties based on considerations concerning the common needs of a substantial, right?
Right.
You're just flipping that.
Right, just moving,
Okay.
we just moved the number of properties part
Okay,
up.
right, okay.
And
flipping
then
that-
on page 19,
Right,
you add the words and is where the 3 designator is
okay,
to connect it to the previous part of the sentence. And then you keep the rest of that language in 1 and 2, designed to control and direct the use of land and structures according to present and planned future conditions. And then you add a period and you stop because you're done.
okay. All right,
May I say something?
okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, hold on a second. All right, okay. All right, thank you.
Councilwoman Clark?
I'm just saying that the piece about requiring mayor and city council approval is not in the original draft. There is an amendment lingering, but I don't think it's necessary because you've used the word ordinance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I was asking about.
Oh.
What was in the initial bill was it was initiated by city government, and that was what I was asking about. Not the
Right.
approved one, right,
Right, but
Okay. No, I got it.
it's an ordinance.
right, I've got it. I just wanted to get all that.
It's been duly moved and seconded, Mr. Chairman. We have a motion.
Yeah. There's a question in regards to I want to defer to the law department.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. So I understand that the law department has concerns that some of the language that we're deleting in our amendment may be required by state law. My suggestion would be to go ahead and pass this, because if during the review they determine that it is absolutely required by state law, we can always come back and add that later. But I'd rather only return to this subject if needed and not if not.
Let's get opinion from the law department.
Lena DePietro from the Baltimore City Law Department. I have not had, this is the first time I've seen this amendment, so I have not had the opportunity to look at the land use article. Planning is generally you're required to be involved in the process, so I need to have an opportunity to look at this.
So, Mr. Chair, what I would say in response, and always giving the disclaimer that I'm not a lawyer, but listened to them for a long time, if the state code specifically requires this specific wording be in our code, that's one thing. And I would understand that if the law department were to go back and review and find that, they would come back to us and tell us we needed to fix what we're about to do now. But if the state just requires that the planning department be part of the process, the planning department is part of the process of any rezoning ordinance that the city council would do.
Can we defer it until we get an opinion?
I would actually, I don't know why. Okay, I'm sorry. Here's the point I'm raising philosophically. If we knew, I mean, and I'm raising this point now. I'm laying this out now because my suspicion is this will arise again, because there is not going to be time to make sure that every amendment we come up with gets a chance to have careful review by the law department between when we come up with it and these voting sessions. And so my suggestion would be that rather than deferring the amendment, we pass our amendments, and if the law department has time to check all of them while we've moved on to the map amendments issue, then we can have one big voting session later where they come back to us with things that we did that don't, connect right with the state.
Councilman Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think we can say regarding any amendment if the law department has time. I think that
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I misspoke. My point was that while we're doing the map amendments, there would be time for the law department to be reviewing the text amendments that the committee passed.
Right.
County, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now, the thing is we are doing these deferrals, and like last time we did the deferrals, and then when we came back today, we addressed all the deferrals right away. So, we're going to come back the next time. Between now and the next time, the law department's going to have sufficient time to look at this. We're not asking for them to come back a month from now. We're asking them to come back at the next meeting and have an answer for us on this amendment. That's all we're asking.
As you said earlier with the issue of the actually going through the literal motions of voting on sponsors withdrawing stuff, once we set a precedent for how we're running in these hearings, there's going to be inertia to keeping it. And I think it's a bad idea to set the precedent of, with every single amendment that we're ready to vote on because we have come up with language that works, to stop and defer it so that the law department can review it before the next voting session, when we could just do one big thing of them and when we get to the end and go back and do all of the ones that the law department has problems with at once.
This is the first one. Yeah. This is the first one.
If it's the last one, I'll be happy.
Councilman?
May I
Yeah.
say? Basically, we've all had these amendments for a while. I agree with my colleague that it's better for us to have an amendment that's been approved for the law department to look at than for it to look at a concept or fuzzy language. So I would like us to, in this case, I'm not always going to vote this way, but in this case, I would like us to approve this amendment and then send it to the law department to get back to us at our next voting session.
Councilwoman, I hear both of you. This is a new amendment, and we need an opinion from the law department, just like we're waiting for language from other agencies. So I make a motion to defer
There's a
this.
motion on the floor.
Motion on the floor.
So this is the language, no, it's this one. It's this line, it's that is the amendment. And the part that we're arguing over right now is on page 19, lines 3 through 6.
I'm gonna vote down.
Pardon?
Well,
I'm gonna,
you may, but
no, I'm gonna speak against it. I want to
Okay.
speak against it then.
Okay.
If we're not going to defer this, I mean, this is an emotion. I mean, we do have all these amendments ahead of time, or we had them deferred. This is an amendment we've just seen. It was just presented. We haven't had an opportunity to review it. All the other amendments that we've had before us. We've had the language before us, or they've been referred back for the language. So if we're going to force a vote on this, then, you know, at this point, I'd hate to, but,
Can we
you know,
have a discussion with our attorney?
yeah, we got an attorney. Well, let's ask him a question.
Councilman Henry's talking.
I'm consulting with counsel.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'll shut up until he's finished.
Why don't we, get,
Councilwoman.
why,
Okay, so it's done. So motion, you want to withdraw your motion, Councilman?
I'll withdraw the motion and move to defer to the next voting session.
Okay, so Councilman Henry moves it.
wait a minute, I'll withdraw my second and.
I am stating the motion. So Councilwoman, I will get to you if you're going to second it. Are you seconding it?
No, I'm withdrawing my second,
Okay.
and I was going to move deferral, but I don't know.
he moved it defer.
I heard a movement for deferral, I was seconding that.
Okay, that's what I was. Okay. Moved by Councilman Henry to defer, second by Councilwoman Clark. Councilman Reisinger votes. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It is deferred.
May I say one thing about the existing provision and definition, while the law department is looking at it?
We already shut it down, Councilwoman. We're deferring.
know.
It's deferring. We want to move on to the next
Okay?
one. So the next, we will go into that when we get an opinion from the law
Okay.
department. Well, now we're where? 7? That's the planning commission. Planning. Okay, now we are on, that's planning too.
Where are we?
That was T-70.
Where are you?
704, I think.
Tell me a page and a line. Page
Okay.
line.
Page,
We are now on page 19.
okay.
Page 19, line 6, T90, that's your
That's you.
Councilwoman Clark.
Is it my ATM?
No, it's.
Same item.
We already do that one?
Page, wait a minute.
We already did that. We already deferred
What,
that.
what is it?
That is your, yeah.
Oh, that ties to what you.
Wait, just 19 what?
6.
We already did this. Right?
That's the one it would tie to what we were doing.
Okay, so this was a new one. This
That's
new
the
one.
community managed open space.
Oh, I did that. We just did that. Withdraw. We've already approved this. What is it? Where is it? I have to apologize that amendments are sort of broken up into different pieces and spread all through the thing.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on 1 second. That amendment, 19.6,
so we'll withdraw that.
delete to add that section 5 to where it just did that whole amendment,
Yeah, the mayor and city council part.
right? So if you want to withdraw it now, if you want to.
No, I'm not withdrawing it.
So just defer it because he's deferred the other thing.
So what's the next one after that? Still another T-79?
You don't want to add it.
T-79.
No, I don't, I'm looking for it, that's all.
T90.
It's 19 what?
There it is right there.
T90.
Yeah.
We passed T80.
So what do we need to move?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to defer T90. It is my original amendment to the definition of comprehensive rezoning, and it simply added a line that explains that comprehensive rezoning must be enacted by the mayor and city council. That's somewhat redundant to the, it's somewhat redundant, and I'd just like to leave this alone till we get back to my colleague's definition next work session.
Yeah, so,
All right,
okay.
thanks.
Moved by Councilwoman Clark, second by Councilwoman Kraft to defer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. The ayes have it.
Just
Okay, now
language.
we're on what?
Okay, where are we?
92.
T-92.
Community manager open space, which you already got.
We did this, didn't we?
Right, there are redundancies throughout.
So we don't have to.
I'd like, I'll withdraw it.
Okay, withdrawal by, motion moved by Councilwoman Clark, second.
On community managed open space, which has already been approved, it still shows up. T92, move to withdraw.
Second by Councilman Kraft. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it.
So drawing.
Passes.
But no, it's approved. They've got it listed all over the thing.
So where we at now? We're down. now-
92.
I withdrew 92. It's already approved, it's already done.
Next page. right? Okay, now we're on page T-93, like page 2020.
Is a repeat of T90.
Yeah, it's redundant, yeah.
I know these things are redundant, I didn't do this.
The next one, 1916.
Yeah, it is, but but
you're on
that's the
T93.
same,
That you just deferred.
yeah, it's the same one. Just keep going.
So we need to do something with that.
What?
This amendment, T91 and T90 are the exact same.
I know.
So you want to withdraw this one to get it off the sheet?
I'll withdraw T91, and it's exact duplicate of the one that we just deferred.
Second by Councilman Clark. All those in favor to,
Aye.
Aye.
opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It's withdrawn. We're now on, page 20, line 20. Councilman Clark, this is you. Page 20, line 20, it is T93. This is the cultural facilities.
Yes, please, I'm going to defer this at this moment. It is a redundant, and we will get to the proper amendment number soon.
Okay, all right. So we don't have to move on that,
We just defer it, it's just
defer.
sitting there
huh?
repeating itself.
It's redundant, okay,
Now we're on.
no,
I don't want to withdraw till I get the other one approved when we get to it.
no motion. So now we're looking at.
I'm
we're looking at,
deferring.
Country Club,
I did. You're on. You're on.
so she defer her motion? Okay, Councilman Clark, you made a motion to defer, do we have a second? Yes. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it to defer it.
93, that was that we just referred. Right. Redundant.
That's where we at now. That we're not doing this. Huh? Oh, this is.
Page.
Oh, yeah, okay, right, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on
Th-
the
Now
page.
we're on page 20, line 1 through 5.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I have replacement language for this amendment T850, and it is on the sheet at all committee members' desks that it's and labeled as T850.
okay. You want to read that to us, please?
Sure. The amendment is on page 20, line 4, strike outdoor and insert both indoor and outdoor after with.
Okay, which was this?
And it would read as follows. Country club means a club organized and operated primarily for social and recreation purposes with both indoor and outdoor recreation facilities for members, their families, and invited guests.
Second.
Okay. Hold on for 1 second, please. Okay, you got a motion moved by Councilwoman Henry, right? Second by Councilwoman Clark. Yes. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft, yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch, yes. Councilwoman Clark? Yes. Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Middleton, yes. Councilman Mosby is absent, so we have 6 yes with 1 absent. This moves. Which way?
Outdoors
850.
and indoors. Okay, all right.
And we'll win,
Oh, okay.
these are your Mary Pat. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I have T95 and T96 are redundancies of T94, which I'm going to move after you move to withdraw 95 and 96. It's just a withdrawal.
Okay. All those in favor to withdraw 95 and 96, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. It's been withdrawn. We are now on
94.
now 97, 94.
94.
94?
Okay, 94.
That's mine. Mr.
This is this is page 20, lines 13 through 16. 22, correct?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is simply an amendment to, it's an amendment to the definition of cultural facility found in the definition section that we've been working with of the proposed zoning code. And here are the changes. Cultural facility, it's on the sheets under T94. Cultural facility includes any of the following, whether operated by a public, nonprofit, or private entity, a museum, and now I delete a cultural center and add, substitute an historical society or a library. It's just a matter, I'm just an English teacher. You don't define something by itself, and we shouldn't be defining cultural facility as including a cultural center. So it's just, I'm moving that amendment.
Okay, so moved by Councilwoman Clark. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman
Question?
Henry. Question?
Sure.
Yeah,
You want to use the microphone, Councilwoman,
yes,
please?
thank you. I guess the author of the amendment, would a school, a cultural school, be identified in that category?
I'm going to say that schools are already, this is, what we're defining here when we say cultural entity is a use category that will be used in all the tables of permitted conditional uses that really dominate the new zoning code. So schools already are a category in general. So like secondary schools, primary and elementary schools are each already used categories. So it would be a little redundant to put a school in as a example of a cultural facility.
Agrees with that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. So, you still have a question, Councilwoman? Or-
No, no.
Okay, so Councilwoman Clark moves, second by Councilman Henry. Time for a vote. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft? Yes. Councilman Kraft, yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch, yes. Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton? Yes. Councilman Mosby is absent. We have 6 yes. Amendment passes.
Yeah. Where is it?
We're now on.
Is it up or down?
Okay. Councilman Kraft, we're ready for yours. Okay.
Are they going to finish this tonight?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, may I please? I'd like to move the withdrawal of I-93, which is just a couple above what we just approved. It's redundant.
Okay. Moved by Councilwoman Clark, second by Councilman Henry. All those who are in favor to withdrawal, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. It is, T-93 is withdrawn. Councilman Kraft, are you ready? Yes. We are now on page 21, line 29 through 30. This is T-97. This is Councilman Kraft.
Yes, on line 21, page 21, line 30, in my earlier amendment, we had deleted the word deck next to balcony, and here we have the word deck C, and then it says C balcony. We're deleting the word balcony, and we're defining deck as follows, and you have this in front of you on my amendment sheet. Deck means an above-ground platform that is an open, unroofed area extending from the back or side of the building, or is an open, unroofed area on or projecting from the roof of a building, which may or may not have direct access to the interior of the building and is exposed to the open air.
Okay. You make a motion.
I move the amendment.
Moved by Councilman Kraft. Do I have a second? Second by Councilwoman Middleton. Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft votes yes. Councilman Branch? Yes. Councilman Branch votes yes. Councilwoman Clark? Yes. Councilwoman Clark votes yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Henry votes yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Middleton votes yes. We have 6 yes. Councilman Mosby is absent, and we have 1 absent. The amendment is passed. We are now on.
Which?
You might not. This keeps going on and on and on. That lunch. Déjeuner, petit déjeuner. Brunch, brunch. I need to tell you,
These three.
there was a woman who survived the Holocaust, and she worked in a bridal shop. And she was a dressmaker, she was a seamstress, made all the
Okay.
alterations. She said, blessing to
We're now on Councilman, I think it's Councilman Bill,
in America, haven't got time to eat.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
thank you. I think Councilman Bill Henry, you withdraw. This is page 23, line 24, T101.
Yes, I'm happy to move to withdraw that.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second by Councilwoman Clark? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It's withdrawn. It's the same thing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Same way.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, yes, Councilman?
103 is, T103 is, there's a typo in that. That is actually, no, I was going to say, that actually is my amendment, that it shouldn't have been listed as being from someone else, and so I'm happy to withdraw it.
Okay, do we have a motion to withdraw? You withdraw?
Move to withdraw T103.
Okay, second by Councilwoman Middleton. All those in favor to withdraw, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. T103, which is page 2324, is withdrawn. Do we have?
You're going to move T100, right? Yeah, okay.
Okay, there's no motion on 680.
Okay. The next one is Councilwoman Clark. This is page 23, lines 20 through 23. It's T100.
Correct, it's, and it should be mirrored, Ms. Floyd's amendment, above, 102. This is a dwelling semi-detached, means one of two buildings that are used for residential occupancies, with each building having its own private entrance and being joined to the others by a party or shared wall and not otherwise attached to any other dwelling. A major distinction in this definition, changing what is presented in the draft, is that a semi-detached house in the draft is called a building with two parts. The distinction is that it really is two buildings. Yeah, so, I move the adoption of this amendment to that.
Okay, do we have a second by Councilman Henry? Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Branch?
Yes.
Councilman Branch, yes. Councilwoman Clark? Yes. Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Middleton, yes. Councilman Mosby is absent. And we have 6 yes with 1 absent, and this motion passed. Okay, what about the vote? There's no motion on 681. Councilman, this one here is T681. This is no motion on it. Okay, all right. Okay, so there's no motion on, there's
36 fails.
837 fails, no motion. 838 fails, no motion, right?
There's no motion to withdraw them or defer them, they're just failing.
Right. We ain't doing nothing.
But yes, if they fail, yeah, right, okay.
T10. Okay, right, Pat, T105. Page 25 through 29, T105.
What is it?
T105, page 25 through 29.
Oh. No, I don't. I don't.
No? All right. So now Jim, it's yours. Okay, now we are on page 25, lines 14 through 25. This is T104, Councilman Kraft.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, when we were discussing this, my concern was making certain that our definition of live entertainment in the zoning code was the same as the definition of live entertainment under the liquor board rules and regulations, so that we didn't have a conflict, because there had been conflicts in the past. There is no present definition in the liquor board rules and regulations. However, in the proposed regulations from the committee that's revising them, proposed Rule 1-06R actually takes the definition that we have in the zoning code and is using our definition in the zoning code for live entertainment in the liquor board rules. So they are taking our definition, so there's no need for us to make certain that our definition matches their definition. So I would move to withdraw that.
Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Henry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, it's withdrawn. So, there we now.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move to defer T679.
Okay, do I have a motion, do I have a second? Second?
T679.
Do I have a second?
Yes, defer.
Okay, second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor to defer, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. It's deferred by majority. So now we are on. So on page 27, line 9, that's T08. Councilwoman Clark, you are withdrawing.
I am, redundant. Oh, no, this is all this definition of family, okay? So I'm withdrawing my amendments that amend the draft definition of family. So if I may, I'd like to just do a group. I'd like to withdraw T108, T109, T114, that's not the same, T115, T111, T113, and T112.
Wait a minute, you got, let me go back. T108,
109,
T109, T111,
not 107.
T10,
How about 114?
Go to,
114,
yeah, 114, skip to 115. Skip to 115.
I want clarity, I want to make sure
I
that,
think you want to skip to 111.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, wait a minute, yeah,
let me read it out to you.
yeah,
You have,
I got it.
you want to.
I'm keeping 110.
Yeah, you're withdrawing 108, 109, 111, 112, 113,
I don't know where 12 is. Oh, yeah, okay.
113, 114,
Yes,
and 115.
correct.
Okay, so do I have a second? for that?
115 is unrelated to the definition of bound.
But it's redundant because I have the same amendment just above it.
Okay, so we have a second? Second by Councilman.
But thanks. Yeah.
Fifteen is ATM.
Oh, yeah, 115.
115 is ATM, but so is 110.
So she wants it, so.
I believe it's a redundancy. I was just,
Well, I didn't say 110. I did say 115.
I know you didn't. I,
11,
So so you're withdrawing?
13 and 115, right?
So you read the numbers you were drawing, right? And the numbers that Ed just read, they're the numbers.
yeah, I am gonna put my ATM thing
Okay,
up, but
yeah,
I have,
that's next.
there's two redundant
Yeah.
versions of
No.
it.
No, you're right. I'm with you. You're good.
So I thought I'd get rid of that while I was there.
115 is,
That's all right, it's okay.
okay. Okay, so,
Actually, while I'm at it, I might as well withdraw 107 as well, T107. And that leaves me with just my one amendment about the ATM, but that's all I need.
so Councilman Henry, you still go with the second? Okay, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and it's, they're withdrawing. We are now, thank you. We are now on,
110.
T110, it's page 27, line 22.
If I may go there.
Yes, you may.
This is about freestanding ATM machines, freestanding, not on the premises of a financial, yes, it's 110, T110, not on the premises of a financial institution. So, where is it? It's an amendment to the definition on page 27, beginning at line 20. Financial institution includes any bank, savings and loan association, credit union, mortgage company, or standalone automated teller machine. When that standalone ATM machine gets lumped in as a financial institution, it lumps into being a permitted use everywhere. So banks are permitted, they're not in residential areas, in commercial areas. In commercial areas, all these financial institutions, this word is permitted across the commercial areas. Now, that's fine with me. It's nice to have a bank. In my community, when the bank closed on Greenmount Avenue, they then went to the zoning board to get a big ATM machine to take the place of the people that were there, the business hours, the banking courtesies. They shut the door and wanted to build something at the corner of Greenmount and 33rd, practically in a lane of traffic, and somehow the community prevailed that this was a very dangerous location. But we had no real right to be at the zoning board because in this case, all right, I'm just explaining it. So I'm asking to take stand-alone ATM machines out of the definition of financial institutions, give them their own definition. It's Appendix B on these sheets that we've prepared. And here's what the new definition would say. ATM, automatic teller machine, standalone means an ATM located off premises from its sponsor financial institution, so that because of traffic, because of crime, because of location, it's important to know, to have some knowledge that a freestanding ATM is coming to your neighborhood, and to have something to say about lighting, traffic, parking, and how it's affected. So that would make ATM standalones conditional uses, while banks would still be able to be permitted.
We have a
Move
second.
it. Move the amendment.
Councilwoman Clark, second.
Second, for
Yes.
discussion.
Go ahead, Councilman Henry.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I wanted to speak very briefly because I'm supportive of this idea. I get the sense that there's probably not going to be the votes to move forward with it in the context of a comprehensive rezoning. However, I think that we have other items coming along the line in comprehensive rezoning, for example, that speak to broader policy issues that have been discussed at greater length elsewhere. For example, we've talked a lot about food deserts for several years now, and we'll be addressing some points in that here in this code. We haven't had a conversation broadly enough about the fact that we actually are starting to worry about bank deserts.
Yes.
On York Road and Greenmount, for example, there are 3 bank branches at or north of Belvedere. There is no other bank branch on or alongside York Road or Greenmount Avenue inside the city of Baltimore. This is not something that we're going to necessarily be able to address right now in an amendment on definitions in the zoning code, but I think it deserves a broader conversation moving forward, and perhaps its own legislation that we can discuss with the industry in terms of how we can best address the issue of safety for our customers balanced with the convenience for both the customers and the banks.
I hear him. I know I don't have the votes. Let me just say this. Back in the old days before cell phones, this was like pay phones. Now we got ATMs. We're closing your bank, but we're going to put up an ATM. You can come out and press buttons in your neighborhood, but we're leaving. We're leaving town. And so you want to come and put your ATM here where your bank is closed. You can put it on the premises, and that's what that bank ended up doing on Greenmount. The bank's closed, but they still have their ATM window in the side of it. Good, fine. There's parking. So, Mr. Chairman, it's been duly moved and seconded.
Before we take a vote, I just want to share that, Councilwoman, I cannot support this because my constituents in my district, they use these ATM machines, and so I am against it, so I vote no. Councilman Kraft?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, I'm going to vote no also. I don't think my growing constituency, they don't have cash. They don't use cash. And very frankly, many of them don't care whether they can get to a bank at all as long as they can get to an ATM. They do everything electronically. I don't think many of them have ever seen the inside of a bank. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. All I'm saying is that's right. It's a culture. My vote's no.
Okay, Councilman Kraft votes no. Councilman Branch?
Mr. Chair, let me explain my vote. I had a chance to speak with both sides, and it appears that they both have valid points, but at this point, I'm going to vote no.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark, yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry, yes. Councilwoman Middleton?
And I'm going to vote no. And I'll explain a little bit as well. Baltimore, again, is a very unique town that has lots of different economic backgrounds, different cultures, just the communities are made up differently. And we have the millennium population, again, as Councilman Kraft has mentioned, that, you know, the younger generation, they love carrying those cards, and we need places we need modernized ways to keep up with that generation. So there has never been any problems throughout my district, and, you know, I think we just can't use one or two incidents that might have happened to, you know, make a decision for the whole entire city. So my vote's a no.
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Mosby is absent. We have 2 yes with 4 no's with 1 absent, and this motion fails. We are now on this is, what is it, T,
Oh, so they have to go to BMCA for standalone.
what about these right here?
If there was no family.
No, they were withdrawn with
These are withdrawn?
Which one?
This is family stuff.
T is 702.
There's one thing about,
Oh, goodness, yes.
there's one thing there that's different from family.
Councilwoman, are we, Councilman, I think we're on page 27. We are on T702. This is Councilman Henry. This is your,
Yes, most of this has either already been dealt with in the sense of the restoring all currently existing conditional by ordinance uses across all districts. Where specific uses have been subsumed into broader, more general ones, I'm not sure that they've all been broken up, but I am happy to withdraw this amendment at this time, so I'd appreciate that, second to that motion.
okay, moved by Councilman Henry, second by Councilwoman Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It's withdrawn. Henry, we are now on,
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, buried amongst these redundancies is a motion I'd like to make, but before I do, I'd like to move to withdraw T119, T121, and T118 as redundant.
Second.
So it's T119, T21, and
121.
T119, T121, and T118.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a second, Councilman Kraft?
Yes.
Councilman Kraft seconds your motion. All those in favor to withdraw, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. T15, T19, T21, and T118 is withdrawal.
Which leaves us 122?
You didn't say T122.
I know that's, I'm going to make a motion when you call it.
To withdraw T122?
No, I'm going to make a motion to adopt it.
Okay, all right. That's page, okay, T122 is page 28. This is line 4. Councilwoman, page 28.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is an amendment. I'm sorry, let me just get where I belong. Oh, yeah. This is a definition of a food processing light. In other words, a place that processes food and it's light, it doesn't impact a neighborhood. Because the industrial 1 zoning can be nearby residential neighborhoods. So in this definition, it says, food processing light means an establishment for preparing, processing, canning, or packaging food products where all these activities are within an enclosed structure and create no create no outside impacts. And I would just like to say, comma, no impacts, such as large truck deliveries of ingredients and supplies. I'd like to add that as an impact, an example of an impact.
Okay, you're making a motion on that?
I am. I'm moving the adoption of that example of an impact.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Henry. Councilman Kraft, you have a question on the motion?
Yes. So, when you say such as large truck deliveries of ingredients or supplies, so if somebody has a small building and they're doing this, whatever it is, the processing of whatever those, right, whatever it is, but they have a delivery, say, twice a week, and it comes in a large truck. It comes in a tractor trailer because, you know, that tractor trailer is just not delivering to them. It's delivering to 10 or 12 people. By adding this to the definition, this would take this out of the definition of food processing light. It would no longer be a light food processing facility if it had a tractor trailer that made a delivery to it.
Really?
Well, that's because you're saying, you know, you're saying create no outside impacts such as large truck deliveries of ingredients and supplies. So if they got their ingredients and supplies from a large truck, that would be an outside, because that's what you're using as an example. I know that's not, I don't think that's what you mean, but I think that's what we're saying.
I think you're right. That's a good observation. Basically, you know, if a large truck comes like once a day even, and comes into a light industry in a residential neighborhood, people don't go crazy. It's when it's really large trucks coming a lot. So, I mean, I'll be happy to say frequent large truck deliveries, if you think that helps. I mean, people are reasonable with each other, but this is a light, I mean, this is industrial light. It's not, I guess it's like an M1. You really hate it, don't you?
I just think it causes a lot of problems because, you know, all of us, I mean, particularly in my area, I have folks that read the zoning code. They live by it. Some of them read it more than they read the Bible. Right. But, you know, they're always looking, I mean, if they feel that they've got a gripe about something and they read this definition and it says, you know, you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
So what do you want to?
I don't know how you enforce it. And I know what will drive people crazy, but maybe I can't put the words around it. I'd be glad to withdraw this, really. I'll move to withdraw this, but just remember I did.
Okay, all right. Councilwoman moves to withdraw, second by Councilman Henry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. This is withdrawn. Okay.
I couldn't have gotten in it. Nobody would enforce it anyway.
Okay. So where we at? We're in,
Did I? Oh, I'm not.
Councilwoman Clark, we are on you now. It's T-117,
Okay.
and it's page 28 through,
Yeah, this is,
yeah, page 28, line 13. Got it?
yep, I do. They do. no, actually, the amendment, let me just double check. I just got to make sure I've got the right amendment. This is
Yeah, it's T-117.
okay.
Which are revised? Yeah, T-17.
I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right one. I'll be right with you.
Go ahead, take your time. Go ahead.
What page are we on? 11? 28?
Page 28, line 13.
Okay, thank you.
T-117.
Gotcha. Sorry. Okay, this is what the one I want. Revise, it's 117.
Right.
Yep, this is what the one. All right, this is about undergraduate residential sororities and fraternities. Fraternity sorority house means and here's what I'm adding. Primarily residential, and then structure, for the housing of undergraduates and postgraduates of local colleges and universities by members of a fraternal or sororal organization or association. This definition includes a structure with shared facilities or separate dwelling units under one roof. So it's pretty close to what's in the book, but later on, I need to separate adult fraternities and adult sororities, which are non-residential and very important in our city. So I need this definition to stand alone. And I'm moving this definition.
Moved by Councilwoman Clark, second by
Is anybody else
Second.
here?
Second by Councilman Henry.
Discussion.
Yeah.
So
What have I done?
well,
Uh-oh.
I'm hesitant to bring this issue up, but I don't know how not to. The way that it's framed by members of a fraternal or sororal organization or association, I can think of examples from my own experience of housemates from different fraternal organizations where that house was never used as a fraternity house because it was not made up of brothers or sisters of one fraternity or sorority, but everybody who lived in the house was a member of some fraternity or sorority. And I don't know how big of a deal it is that this definition does not say by members of the same fraternal or sororal organization or association.
So,
It doesn't.
Would
Look, if all right. Let's say you're living in a house with you're an undergraduate at Hopkins again, and you had a trash can, you get the lid on, I remember
we
it
mowed
well.
our lawn with scissors.
Yes. So you're in there with 3 other guys, and you're from 4 different fraternities. Who cares? It's not a fraternity house.
By this definition, it would be. That's my concern.
well,
Let me
intervene. Councilwoman, you made a motion. Councilman Henry
Actually,
seconded.
I think I understand what I need to do. Would you accept a friendly amendment to say members of the same fraternal or sororal organization or association instead of a? Is it,
what?
so the definition would read, fraternity sorority house means a primarily residential structure for the housing of undergraduates and postgraduates of local colleges and universities by members of the same fraternal or sororal organization or association.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care, because it's wanting to be a fraternity, not, the people who don't want to be a fraternity really don't have a problem. We're not gonna come in to your house and call you a fraternity.
Okay.
But if you want that, it does no damage, I'd be glad to have it in there.
I would feel a little personally comfortable if
Well,
it said the
that,
same.
I need you to be. You've been seconding me. Same.
Stick to your second?
Yes.
So let's take, okay, so,
Oh,
I'll
she's-
add the
she's
word
accepting the
same.
friendly amendment.
I'm taking the word same.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's,
so are you gonna, so that means you're gonna have to change your amendment?
I just did. I wrote the word same before the word fraternal.
The same.
Oh, the same.
Yeah, instead of fraternal.
Of the.
Instead of
All right, so
be
it's
the same.
Steph, it's members of the same fraternal or sororal organization or association.
Yep.
Okay.
So now, okay, so you made a motion, he second, now you're amending, so you,
I accept his amendment. It's a friendly amendment.
okay, all right. So all those in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay, the amendment passed. Now we're going with the motion and the second. Who, Councilwoman, you're moving the motion?
I move the definition as amended.
Seconds it? Okay, Councilman Reisinger votes yes. Councilman Kraft? Yes. Councilman Kraft, yes. Councilman Branch is absent. Councilwoman Clark? Yep. Councilwoman Clark is yes. Councilman Henry? Yes. Councilman Henry is yes. Councilwoman Middleton? Yes. Councilwoman Middleton is yes. And Councilman Mosby is absent. So we have 5 yes with 2 absent, and the amendment, the motion passes. Now we are on, okay, well, 117 with 120 is the same, right? Huh?
Oh, you know what? Jiminy Christmas.
Your language reads provide
Your sheet.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, we approved 117
Okay.
as revised.
So
120 is withdrawn, move to withdraw.
All those in favor to withdraw, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, it's withdrawn. Now we are on, we are going to go to another 5 minutes, because we started 20 after 5, so we are now on, no, we're on 160, we're on
123?
T6, yeah. T677, is there a motion, you gonna move on that? T677,
Where is it? I don't have 6, oh, ooh. And be or contradictory. Can we just defer this? Well, I mean, I don't know.
make a motion, I mean, you wanna make a motion to defer?
T677,
You making a motion to defer?
yeah.
Do I have a second?
To defer that amendment, I'm not,
I'll second
it's not my amendment, and I don't understand what the amendment is intended and hoped to be.
Okay,
So
so
I don't-
you're
so
deferring this?
I'll find out. Yes,
Councilman
I'll
Kraft,
find
a
out.
second. All those in favor to defer, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. This is deferred. T677 is deferred.
Jones, it's
Um,
Jones, it's just not clear what it is she needs. I'll do it,
We're looking at
yeah.
T125, the same as T124. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just leave that alone. Well, when we get the one straightened out, we'll have that straightened out.
Let's go with, it looks like T126.
Ah, Clark.
This is Councilwoman Clark. It's page 31, line 4.
I've given up on,
You give up on that?
I guess, I surrender to the
You withdraw?
How many of these are all the same? Okay. T 126, 127, 128, and 129, all in a row, move to withdraw.
Okay, so you make a motion to withdraw.
All four of them.
Okay, do we have a second? Second by Councilman Henry. All those in favor to withdraw T-126, T-127, T-128, and T-129, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. This is withdrawn. We now have,
Mr.
T-131.
Yeah, it's redundant. I've got the a better version. I mean, it's repeated better in the next. So I'll withdraw, move to withdraw 131.
Second by Councilman Henry. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. It's withdrawn. T-131 is withdrawn. We're now on, this is bed and breakfast again. This is redundant, T-133, page 32, line 13, is that?
That's the one I want to move.
That was 128.
Hold it for 1 second. Yeah, 127, 128, 129, 30. Okay. So now we are on, okay, Councilman Clark. This is T-133, page 32, line 13.
Chairman, members of the committee, this is an amendment to home occupations, and I'm adding to the business exclusion. There's a list of things that are not acceptable home occupations under zoning. This is on page 32, line 13, and so there's a list of things that are not acceptable. Well, wait a minute, I don't want to lie. Means not, oh, no, there are no list of what you can't do, so here's mine. I would like to move to amend, to add to the definition of home occupation that exclusions, 3 things or 2 things that are excluded in a residentially zoned neighborhood. Leasing of rooming units is excluded as an home occupation, and also occupations which negatively impact parking and traffic in the surrounding neighborhood. I'd like to move those additions.
Second for purposes of
Okay,
discussion.
so you second it? Councilman Kraft?
Okay. I understand the concern, but I have a couple of sections in my district presently which do not want one more person to move into their neighborhood. And they could build walls around their neighborhoods right now, they would. They'd put walls up, they'd put toll gates, they would put armed guards so that no one else could get into those neighborhoods. And when people left, they wouldn't let them back in.
Where is this?
Fells Point. So when you say occupations which negatively impact parking and traffic in the surrounding neighborhood, literally anything that adds one vehicle to the street in Canton, Patterson Park, Upper Fells Point, Fells Prospect, Fells Point, Little Italy, all the way across southeast Baltimore would not be able to have a home occupation, because every single time that someone would apply, you would have a room full of people saying that this negatively impacts parking and traffic in the surrounding neighborhood. If we have somebody try to remove one parking space, we have a community meeting over it. It is reductio ad absurdum. It just is, anyway.
Anyway,
So,
what?
I can't support anything that would say that you can't have a home occupation if it would have a negatively impact parking or traffic in the surrounding neighborhood. If you were a CPA and you were doing tax returns in your home, and you just had people coming up during the day and dropping off their returns and picking them up, you were just a tax service, that's going to impact parking and traffic just by the fact that people are going to be coming and dropping them off and picking them up. If you are if you're an attorney and you have a client who's coming to see you and they're going to come and park, their car, and maybe it's a family and they're coming to talk about their estate or something like that. You got 2 or 3 people parking their cars. You've got 2 or 3 parking spaces that have just been taken away from somebody who's coming home from work. That directly impacts traffic in certain neighborhoods. We have people right now that don't want anybody that lives in Harford County to work in their neighborhood because they don't believe that people who live in Harford County should be driving into the city because they're the ones that are creating the traffic problems, and we shouldn't be doing anything that will encourage them to drive in and drive out because it only creates more traffic for their neighborhoods.
So, Councilwoman Henry, you still stick with your second? Wait, Councilwoman, I just want. You want to respond? You want to respond, Councilwoman Clark? I apologize.
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, then they shouldn't have home occupations if there's no place to park and nobody wants them. They can go and rent an office. We've got lots of them available in my district at a very reasonable rents. Here's the issue. Home occupations in residentially zoned neighborhoods are very common. A lot of, as you say, your constituents haven't seen the inside of a bank because they live their lives and do their jobs over the internet. You didn't say that, but that's what you mean. They do their banking, their earning, and their lives and their social life over the internet in their homes. There's lots of home occupations that can be conducted without adverse impact in a residential neighborhood. And there are, however, some which could generate more traffic than a residential neighborhood has any reason to want or expect. All I'm saying is I'm putting that in there. So when the zoning board considers an application for a home occupation, they will look at those factors. I don't want to withdraw them. They are exactly what worry people the most. Hours of operation if you're running a home occupation. How many people are going to be coming and parking and driving up and down? That's what people worry about. Otherwise, live your life, earn your living. But that's what matters. And if we don't stop overdeveloping the hot spots in our city, they will continue to be places where you can't park and you can't hardly drive. Let's spread it out and balance the development and have incentives for people to develop where everybody else isn't developing on top of each other.
Okay.
I'd like people to consider this amendment when
There was a motion, seconded by Councilman Henry.
The reason I said seconded for purposes of discussion is I just wanted to ask who was going to make the decision of.
it's a conditional use.
And since it's a conditional use and it's going to be going.
It's going to the zoning board.
To the zoning board.
Yeah.
I don't see what the downside is of giving the board a little bit of guidance in terms of what we'd like them to be looking for, they'll have the opportunity to decide
Anyway.
as best fits the situation.
So you still stick with your, okay, so it was second by Councilman Henry, Councilman Rice Singer votes, no, Councilman Kraft? No. Councilman Kraft, no, Councilman Branch is absent, Councilwoman Clark?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark, yes, Councilman Henry?
Bill?
Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Henry, yes, Councilwoman Middleton?
No.
Councilwoman Middleton, no. We have 2 yes, 3 no with, and Councilman Mosby is absent. We have 2 yes, 3 no with 2 absent. This motion, this fails. We will now, where's the
Mr. Chair?
Oh,
Can I take this opportunity to withdraw T-135, which
Okay, I
I
gotta go back.
think
What
was the
page is
next
that
one?
on?
Next one.
One page through 130, what page is that on? I just.
It was page 32, line
No,
21.
Page 14? Of the document?
It's the unique identifier is T-135 on page 32, line 21. And
So it's
it's a nightmare. It looks terrible.
on what, T34?
no, T-135.
T what?
T-135.
Okay, you want to make a motion?
Move to withdraw.
To withdraw? Do
Second.
I have a second by Councilwoman Clark? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. This is withdrawn. We will now,
Can I go back and withdraw move to withdraw 134
Second.
for redundancy?
okay, do you have a second? Councilman Henry seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. T-134 is withdrawn. Our next voting session on City Council Bill 12-0152, Transform Baltimore zoning, will be announced. I want to thank everyone for attending this evening's Land Use and Transportation voting session. Thank you.